How much debt do you have?
Like 168,000.
I was laid off, I had no emergency fund, and ended up in $72,000 worth of debt.
People are getting $1,800 a month car payments for 84 months.
Welcome to the Audit Room, where we analyze real financial decisions from real people. We break down what went wrong and then provide feedback and helpful insights that we can all learn from. Unfortunately, the first clip that we're starting this series off with is a pretty brutal one. See, this girl got fired from her job, and I can't blame her for that. That's a really unfortunate situation, but she didn't work for the next 9 months. And to fund her lifestyle, she just used credit cards. She maxed out 3 different credit cards, totaling over $10,000 worth of debt. And at 23 years old, this is really hard to watch.
I thought it would be funny to show y'all how much debt I've racked up since getting fired in September and being unemployed for the last 9 months. It's pretty bad. I only have 3 cards and I've maxed out majority of them. So here's one credit card. Here's my second, which is maxed out and actually over, interestingly enough. Same for this one. Yep. That's me. Meaning that's a whopping $11,632.98. By the way, I'm 23. So, there's that.
Let me get this straight. This girl spent $11,632.98 of credit card debt, but she didn't spend any of those dollars to get a simple $3 9-volt battery to stop her smoke detectors from beeping. Now, jokes aside, I really do empathize with this girl since she lost her job. I mean, 9 months of not working seems a little bit over excessive, but hey, I don't know her situation. The lesson that we can all learn from this, though, is if you do have to take on debt to pay for living expenses, never ever do it with credit card debt. There's way better options out there, like getting a personal loan from the bank is still debt, and it's still not going to be optimal for your situation, but it sure beats the 25% or even higher interest rate that you're going to be putting on a credit card debt. And it's going to be closer to something like 7% interest rate getting a personal loan. So if you're in a pinch, that's oftentimes a smarter idea. And I don't know her specific situation, but hey, if you got to move back in with your parents, do that, because you're going to be saving so much money on rent, and not having to take out debt in your early 20s especially is just imperative to your long-term success. All right, the next clip we're going to watch highlights the extraordinary amount of vehicle debt that Americans are getting into that I didn't even realize was possible.
How much debt do you have?
Like 168,000.
None of which is a house. Why do you have 2 car loans?
I have 2 vehicles.
Why?
So it's 58 miles for me to drive to work every day, and the truck is an 8-cylinder Silverado.
Good, get rid of it.
I can't. I ended up getting like a really great deal on that truck.
Yeah, really great deal. You owe $60,724.55, making $24,000 a year.
Am I hearing this correctly? He owes $60,000 on a pickup truck, and he makes $24,000 a year. I don't even know how they gave him a loan for that. That just highlights how predatory these car dealerships can be sometimes. This situation is really, really bad, and it's a huge red flag. It just kind of shows that the car salesman sold him a car knowing dang well that it was probably going to get repossessed, because feasibly, I don't see how you can afford to pay a $60,000 loan when you're making $24,000 a year. That truck costs nearly 3 times his annual salary. That's just crazy. They used to recommend not buying a house that costs 3 times your annual salary, and this guy has it in a depreciating asset. On the topic of auto loan delinquency, this next clip highlights how bad it has gotten in the United States these past couple of years with auto loans.
Bro, when did the car market get cooked? People are getting $1,800 a month car payments for 84 months, and that's normal? Like, this person is financing $102,000 and then paying $54,000 in interest over the lifetime of this car note. And again, it's 12.74% for 84 freaking months. Now, we just got the latest data on auto loan delinquencies, and you can see right here that over the past decade, auto loan delinquencies are up about double what they were 10 years ago.
60-day delinquencies, and what we're showing you here is average transaction prices, which, by the way, at more than $48,000, that's what you and I are paying at a dealership on average. Almost at a record high. According to Experian, 60-day auto loan delinquencies at an all-time high of 0.99% of all open loans that they were checking 30-day auto delinquencies, also close to a record high, highest since the recession in 2008 and 2009 at 3.17%.
Wow, this is actually kind of terrifying. 1% of all auto loans are resulting in a repossession right now. If you think about it, that's hundreds of vehicles a day all across America that the banks are taking back because people couldn't pay back the loans. And the fact that auto loan delinquency is at its highest point since 2008 is literally a recession indicator. This next clip that we're gonna watch is a terrifying example of what we call lifestyle creep. And it shows even if you have a great salary, things can go south extremely quick if you're not keeping them in check.
In 2022, I was making $126,000 a year. In 2023, I was laid off. I had no emergency fund and ended up in $72,000 worth of debt. It took me 6 months to find a job, and here we are. 2 years later, I've only knocked down that debt by $5,000. And all of this could have been avoided if it was budgeting. A 7-year-old version of me must have thought that budgeting and making that much money was contradictory because it never crossed my mind. Looking back at it now is so painful because where could I be right now if I had just been more responsible then? Right now, my job doesn't cover I have to work doing side hustles just to make the minimums on my bills. And I have to work more beyond that, afford groceries and gas without going more into debt. My retirement plan is non-existent. And if it sounds like I'm trying to scare you, I am. Because I can't do anything to fix my mistakes. And the only thing that I can do is putting this nightmare that is my financial situation out there, showing them what can happen if you don't take care of your finances.
I can tell this girl is being 100% genuine, and I find that to be actually really cool because most people on TikTok share their terrible financial situation just for the engagement, just for the rage bait, and just for the views. Well, this girl is definitely different. She's sharing her experience with her terrible financial decision over the past couple of months because she genuinely wants to help other people. She is actually terrified that she made a horrible decision that affected her for, let's be honest, the rest of her life. And she wants to make sure that other people aren't making the same bad decisions that she did. So she uploaded an example of her mistake specifically to help other people. It's a very selfless thing to do, and I really respect it. All right, this is the last clip of the video, but this is a good one. This guy here is calling out influencers who are living a fake lifestyle and portraying that they're rich to their followers when the reality might be quite the opposite.
Okay, so I don't know about y'all, but I've noticed that there's a huge influx of broke influencers on TikTok that are begging for money, and some of them even being involved in scams. Yesterday, I saw this TikToker who had almost 1 million subscribers or followers, and she was involved in a GoFundMe scam, and the GoFundMe got shut down. And it's just like, the problem with so many of these TikTokers is that, or any influencer, is that they're living above their means. And something that my grandma taught me as a kid that I'll never forget is she said, if you cannot buy something with cash in hand right now, then you cannot afford it. Or if the money isn't in your checking account right now, the full amount, you can't afford it. And it's like, I've seen so many scandals over the years of influencers, from YouTube or any, community that have gone broke because they start to live above their means.
The most important message from this clip is to remember that there are so many influencers out there that are funding their extravagant lifestyle on enormous piles of life-changing debt. And that's not the good kind of life-changing. And it's important to not compare your life to fabricated lifestyles portrayed on the internet. His grandmother also had some really solid advice. If you don't have the money in the bank right now, then you can't afford it. Just don't buy it. I realize that this isn't always the case. There are exceptions. Like the ultra wealthy will use debt to avoid taxes as it's much cheaper. And the debt can be used to buy appreciating assets like a house or to grow a business. But for the vast majority of people, this advice would have saved them from a mountain of stress. Thank you for staying to the end of the video. If you like this series, go ahead and subscribe because there's much more to come on this channel. If there's any other clips or any people you want me to react to and analyze their financial situation, please drop them down below in the comments and I'm going to take a look at them, and your comment might get featured in my next video. Thanks again for watching, and this is the Audit Room.